Legacy Lounge. Sometimes people want to talk.
We have an incredible guest here.
What's up, brother?
The definition of the Legacy Lounge is the stuff that he's putting together. He's a great community leader. His story.
And welcome back to the lounge. Man, we got a special one. I'm not calling you Chris today. You're Cezanne because we have Chris Rivers in the house. Man, you've been such an influential person to so many, thousands of people that you've touched as a coach, as a mentor, a brand ambassador, just propping up two of the biggest brands out there. And man, somebody that's super special to me, man. Chris, welcome to the lounge.
I appreciate you guys having me. I mean, just to see you, I think I've known you since you were in 7th grade.
That's right.
And to see all the success you've had as a man, as an entrepreneur, as just a good dude and hanging out with your buddies over here is pretty special.
Man, we do got an audience here today, some of our closest people in the house, so it's going to be a fun one. And man, I actually wanted to kind of start with some a little bit outside of the box here, man. I was just doing a little reading, you know, this book is, I don't know, it's called The Athlete's Advantage in Business. Some dude named Rene Jacques.
Haven't heard of him.
You know, you can get it on Amazon. I just had picked it up, man. And I was reading something the other night, man. It just caught my eye. I wanted to run it past you, man.
Okay.
An expression I've heard many times that has always stuck with me is you can't control what happens to you. You can only control how you react to it. I had a coach in high school who reminded me over and over that there was a kid in the next state who was training harder than I was, and that kid was going to take my spot if he could. I internalized the idea that I couldn't control how hard that kid trained, only how hard I trained, and that meant I needed to train harder. My coach made me conceptualize the scholarship as mine, as it was mine to lose. The message resonated with me because it made me view the situation in a different way. Instead of thinking that I was trying to get something, I was thinking that it was something trying to get taken away from me and that it was rightfully mine. By chance, do you know which coach I'm referring to? Because there is no name in that book.
That's definitely not a Coach Laporte. He wasn't that.
You're right. It's not a Coach Laporte one.
It wasn't a Jose Carballo because there's no curse words in it. It definitely could have been a Gordy Johnson, though.
It could have been Gordy Johnson. But you know who it is. It was you. I'm quoting you in that book. That's something I guarantee you don't remember because you're constantly talking trash and putting a carrot in front of people that's around. We were one day just randomly in the gym and you said that to me. That's resonated through me for my entire life. I literally put it in my book. I knew you didn't know it, that it was in there. I just wanted to start off with it. You don't understand how much you have influenced people over your life. I think you have an idea, but things like that probably bring it to light, man. What do you think about that?
It's humbling to think that things I said when I was 25 or 26 or could have been 28 then, that still stick with it. But I know I've been fortunate enough to be around some people who've touched my life the same ways. And at this juncture in my life, I think I'm really all in on trying to kind of go back to that phase where I was really just giving game just from, I was reading, I was hustling, I was trying to do it all. And now being 30 years later for some of this, I'm re-energized to kind of do it again.
Man.
And I mean, I appreciate it, and that's humbling. And I'm assuming I get a slight royalty as the book sell on Amazon as a shameless plug. We can talk about that off camera.
That's right.
My man's all about business here because I was going to get into I was going to say, what's the over-under that Rene's going to start crying here? Because, you know, and I say that because this is my dude. Matter of fact, I was at his office yesterday, and he showed me the book, and he told me how excited he was to read that to you. I'm like, man, this is dope getting to hear stories from when you're a kid, and now we're approaching the age of our life. You know, once you start getting up to the 40s and 50s, start approaching the second half of your life, things just become a lot more meaningful and special when you get to reflect and look back on that stuff's important.
Most definitely, and I can say just from you sharing that tidbit from, I mean, we're talking the 90s.
Yes.
I mentor a lot of young coaches right now, and I tell them, don't underestimate what you're saying right now. The effect it's going to have. I mean, I told you I was with Jules Milstead yesterday.
Yep.
My fondest memory, I don't know if fondest, right? My fondest memory of Jules Milstead is when he was 12 in Las Vegas, throwing water on me when I was driving the van. I mean, just mischievous stuff. And that's when he was 12.
Yeah.
And we've been close ever since then. But who would ever known that we'd grow up and we'd share all these experiences? So I tell all young coaches, it's not about what you do with the drills. It's not about the wins and losses or the scoreboard, how many points. It's the experience you had. Because 3 or 4 years from now, I learned that from Coach Laporte. You couldn't tell how much love the guys had for Coach Laporte, but you could tell by when everyone came back.
Mm-hmm.
Where they were out of school 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. They had their own kids. And that was I never knew that was the impact I wanted to have, but I'm fortunate enough that I've been able to do okay in that area.
No doubt. And we're going to circle back to some of those Vegas stories, man. I got a few.
Maybe we should.
D-Tuck, oh, man, I got to tell you about his argument in one of the cars over there. But with that being said, I do want to go backwards first and get a little bit of your timeline. Tell our listeners who you are, where you grew up. Like, give us that roadmap.
I'm proud to say I'm born and raised Oakland, California. Not San Leandro, not Alameda. No disrespect, but just straight Oakland, California. And people always go, what part of Oakland are you from? That's always the question I get. Even 2 nights ago, what part? I go, East Oakland. We're in East Oakland, man. We're so set on trying to figure out what geographics I go. I'm a seminary and MacArthur cat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the 56 bus cat. I wrote the 79 down High Street. Went to St. Charlotte's for 7th and 8th grade. Mm-hmm. Played CYO. Pretty good. Lost first round diocese in Monroe, but that's another issue. Fortunate enough to do my high school at Bishop O'Dowd. I'm class of '86. O'Dowd was obviously a basketball powerhouse at that time. I played a little bit, not as much as I thought I would have, but I had a pretty good high school experience. Was able to leave Bishop O'Dowd and go to UC Davis, which I'll be heading there tomorrow and checking up on some of my favorite pizza spots. Took me 5+ to get out of there, but I crawled out of there with a degree. And that was something that, my college experience was spent by going to class when I wasn't hooping, because I hooped as much as I could.
Yeah.
I like to think I was an All-American intramural player. Literally, definitely top 10. But I spent most of my time DJing in college. So I DJ'd when I graduated high school in 1986, fellas, I got some money, and what I did was I went and bought DJ equipment because I was rapping, I was rhyming, and for those who know me, you guys have probably heard some bars at some point. That just became who I was. So all through college, I DJed fraternity parties, sorority parties. Any type of party that was paying me, I was there, and that's how I paid my way through college. In addition to working 16 other jobs. I kept track of I worked 17 different jobs in college. 17? I was hustling.
You Jamaican?
I might have a little bit in me. I was hungry, and my girlfriend at the time, my wife, lived in Washington State, so that's back when you had to call. You had to pay for your phone bill. There wasn't no free minutes, so I had to make sure that I always had some coin just to pay for my bill. So left UC Davis, fell in love coaching basketball, reconnected with Jose Caraballo, who's also a Bishop O'Dowd graduate, a little earlier than me. He turned me on to Frank Laporte. Gave me an opportunity to go to St. Joe's, in addition to some other things, and my life just kind of changed with that whole. So I'm Oakland born and raised, and currently I live in Portland, Oregon, in suburban Portland, Oregon. I've been there since '99.
Man, oh my goodness.
Oakland's home. I still represent town biz, all that. And we're going through some tough times right now, but hopefully we can circle back and get it back on track.
It is tough, and I know you said you listened to the other podcasts. What do you think? Should we have called it From Oakland to Sacktown like Chris asked for?
I thought about it when I was working out, and Chris, I can't lie. It resonated. Like the talent in me said yes, but the business side of me said hell no. The Legacy Lounge, when I told Cass I was going to the Legacy, it just sounds elevated.
Man.
Even if there's only 9 people listening or watching right now, it sounds elevated.
I appreciate that. I had the theme music From Oakland to Sacktown.
I think you can kind of do a spinoff. Like you talk about doing you guys' kids in a couple of weeks. Make that it.
Okay.
See, all right. It's confirming what we have, man. The Legacy Lounge is it, man.
You too.
Man, so the rest is history once you walk through the doors over at St. Joe's, man. That's where the majority of people we're talking about and the people that were around been amazing.
And y'all just let anybody just come in
Oh,
here
man, we got more guests. Rashawn Fulcher's in the house. Rashawn Fulcher's in the house.
Nah, bro.
Well, you were late.
Why don't you, because there's going to be people that are just going to be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Let's give some shout outs from Adams. Let's go start from left to right and tell the people who's here.
Okay, so actually, do you want to announce the people that are here, man?
I will definitely do so.
No.
I don't care. I'll dap you up, bro.
Oh man, this is great. Oh man, this is great.
I'm a little hobble on you. My whole left side is bionic.
See, what we have is live people coming on here, ex-players. This is Ramacio's brother.
Oh, no way.
This is Ramacio's brother. And
He's shorter.
yeah, he's a little shorter. But yeah, announcing, I mean, we got an audience in here, man.
All right, first off, I'm here with my wife, who I went to high school with, Bishop O'Dowd. So we've been together 30 years. Mm-hmm. And she's
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. She's seen the best of me, and she's survived and been patient through the worst of me. Mm-hmm. And we go way back. We just realized we were at O'Dowd for an alumni function 2 nights ago that we've been hanging out for 40 years.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So awesome.
Then we got these other knuckleheads over here, Matt Fahey, Adam Casares, and Rashawn Fulcher, who I met at St. Joe's in 1993. And there's things that we probably shouldn't talk about on camera that we've experienced. There's a lot of things. I mean, I know Matt's parents intimately, Deb and Jim. I know Adam's mom, Lynn. I've DJ'd, as we just mentioned, Matt's dad's 40th birthday, his sister's wedding reception.
Crazy, right?
You still DJ?
No, I'm retired. I'm retired. I haven't brought him back out. I took these 2 guys on, well, Adam and Matt took them on. Their parents trusted me to drive them down to basketball camp in the summer in Costa Mesa, California, in the summer of '95 and '96. And
What were they thinking, man?
As a parent, I'm like, what the F were they thinking? Letting me drive them down in a car, one car. We didn't have GPS. We just drove down to Southern California and went to basketball camp. Mr. Fulcher here, his family trusted me enough to take him to Washington, D.C. on a team we had the summer of '96 called California Pride that Ray Young played on and Jules Milstead played in. We played against Ron Artest and Shane Battier and the Rush brothers. I mean, that was my first experience to elite national level high school basketball. So
Man.
the amount of history and love I have for these guys, and they all supported my first, I don't know if that's my first endeavor, but my most early on entrepreneur experience, In Your Right Sports Gear. They were all models. Jules, you were not the first model. Stop it. But no, these gentlemen have been supporters of me, as have you, Ray. And
I got to slow it
Rene
down.
and Nate.
In Your Eye Sports
yeah,
Gear.
they go back.
That we got to go back to that. That was his gear. It was a staple of us going through high school, man. That beanie is iconic, man. That beanie, that the St. Joe's colored beanie is iconic. I wore that thing for 20 years, man.
It was a good time.
Man.
Let's get context. Did all 4 of you guys play on the same team?
Yes, we did. I'm 1 grade below everybody else you mentioned in there. Now, what was your first year at St. Joe's? Was they your first year, or is it one more?
My first year was the graduating class of '96.
Got it. So the grade
was your
Gordon,
first year?
John Gordon,
94.
Kevin and Curtis Johnson. Who else did we say used to get buckets on that team?
Time and
Timon
Small.
Smalls.
Who was slow with just speed? Remember? Dark skinny, what was his name? He was smooth, but he was heck of slow.
Pocky?
Pocky Wade? No.
No. We played with
He played varsity?
Demarie Wynn?
Demarie was good.
Oh, that's
Demarie's-
the dude, man. Demarie was the dude,
Coach
man.
had so much talent in those 90s, man. After Jason Kidd left, he was just a plethora. So no, that's the context. We were.
So when they called you to go coach at
St. Joe's.
St. Joe's.
I was the head freshman coach. Let me make sure I get
Okay,
props.
so-
and the assistant varsity coach.
So that first year that you played, you weren't there yet. Or-
No, I wasn't there.
Okay, were any of these guys there?
No.
But they played on the summer club team that I was
Correct.
affiliated with.
Okay, and then, so they were there before you.
Yep.
Out of these 3 guys right here, who would you say was one of the best ballers out of these 3 guys?
They all have different skill sets.
Okay, did Adam have a jumper?
100%. Adam's jumper was fantastic, and Adam was 5 feet on freshman team. We'd run curls and run double elevator screens at the top, and he'd come in. It was slow release, but he was keep it real, but it was nice. Matt was he thought he was 6'10" at 6 feet playing the 4 spot.
He's a big boy. He looks like he can bang in the post.
Yeah,
a
he
little
always
bit.
wanted to overdrive and power and power
Okay.
and power.
There we go.
Yes.
10 seconds.
Oh.
And Rashawn, just being honest, probably made the most growth in 4 years from someone who came in with incredible athleticism and minimal basketball skills from freshman to senior.
Center or forward?
Definitely a power forward, but could do it all. to go on to win a national championship in college. The work he put in to see his growth. I mean, he's always a fantastic kid, coachable. Everyone loved him, but the work him and Gordy Johnson, the work he put in that I didn't see, was incredible for what he did. And he probably dunked on more people than anybody. Ray might have had more dunks, but he probably dunked on more people.
I fully agree with that. And I gotta share my best Rashawn Fulcher story, man.
Before you share that, were you dunking in high school?
I had a few dunks in high school, just a handful, right. But it wasn't my thing. I got in trouble with. I tried to dunk on a break and missed it, and Coach Laporte got at me. He didn't appreciate that, but I got to tell my Rashawn Fulcher story though, man. We were playing. We were out a slam dunk to the beach. I don't know if it was against Modern Day or not, but he had a bruised tailbone, so he took some charge and he had a bruised tailbone, so he didn't want to fall anymore. This guard came to the hole and tried to hit a layup or whatever. He was perfect position for a charge, but he didn't want to fall, so he caught the dude. And
oh my God!
Out of midair, he caught him, and they called a foul on him, and he went crazy. He was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I'm like, "Sean, you can't catch people out the air, man. What are you doing?" So that's what we're dealing with here. He just caught a dude out of midair and thought he should take a charge. That's what it was. So I'll never forget that.
Yeah, if we could have some B-roll of that, that'd be amazing.
My goodness.
No, but Chris, just to give you context, these gentlemen here and all the ones you're associated, tremendous athletes, tremendous families. The fact that they're all doing so well as men now is something that 28, 29, 27 years ago when they graduated from high school, you would have only a dream for.
Yeah.
And the fact that they stay connected, whether it's through SAC ties or through the St. Joe's ties or whatever, then there are some who didn't even go to who weren't fortunate enough to be at St. Joe's while I was there with them, D. Lamb, Tom Champ, and a whole bunch of other ones. So this is a special group of dudes, man.
Well, it's got to speak volumes for you and make you feel a certain way that all these guys are here right now, grown men with busy schedules, heard that you were coming out. And I'm just thinking to myself, because I played high school ball myself, and Rene and I, we joke about this. I mean, my numbers were nothing special. First couple of years I was coming off the bench, but you know, I don't keep in contact with a lot of the dudes that I used to hoop with.
They thought you were garbage, that's why.
Okay.
Nah. This bond,
I'll still whoop his ass right now.
yeah, I got to see that next one-on-one game when y'all get
Yeah. Hey, my cardio's in better shape right now, so I would love to play him again.
I weigh 25 pounds,
Nobody
too.
cares, too.
No, it's great. But then, so that's the lineage of he started 1 year before they got on campus. Then their year, I was the third year that he was there, and just so happens that my dad ended up coaching with Coach Rivers on there.
So his dad, that was our worst freshman team we had in 3 years too, and that's probably why I stopped coaching freshmen. No, Coach Jocks, he didn't teach me a lot about basketball. He taught me a lot about being a father. I didn't have the kids then. He just taught me because I know his older brother Kenji, so I knew him even before I knew Rene. I mean, Kenji was a stud in what he did, but Pop Jocks might have been 28 then. I was a little bit irreverent maybe on the sideline. I wasn't a buffoon, but don't ask them guys because I did some things that are kind of wild. But Coach Jocks just kind of centered me, and I didn't realize that it wasn't about teaching X and O's. He was just preparing me to be a man, and I didn't even know it until probably later. So I'm forever indebted for those 6 or 7 months that we spent together, and the fact that we're still here as connected, and we don't connect. I talk to Matt and Adam way enough. Rashawn and I, not as much as we like to, but we're connected. So the fact that I could hit a group text with these guys, with 6 of them who hadn't been on the same text in years, and everyone just goes right back. But that just has a testament about everyone's just trying to live and do things the right way.
That's special. I want to just go back to what you just said about me being trash. I think that there's probably some truth to that. You know, because I don't want to sit here and, but that's probably why I don't keep in contact with some of my buddies. But was Ray, did he go to St. Joe's the same year you did?
Yeah, he's my year. So
okay. And then now let's fast. Did you go from did you only coach freshmen, or did you go up and coach?
No, only coach freshmen.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but I mean, he was on the varsity games. He's on the assistant on the bench. We had an absolute stud group of coaches. Like for you to be the freshman coach in our organization,
that's insane.
Insane,
yeah.
Like literally insane.
A lot of responsibility. I mean, people care if you won.
Yeah.
So Frank Laporte and Jose and Gordy, they sit up in the stands, and they'd be like whispering stuff at halftime. You think you should make this adjustment? I'm like, It's freshman basketball. But it was definitely not pressure, but there was an expectation. And the legacy to be a part of that St. Joseph basketball. Once again, I went to Bishop O'Dowd, so they're rivals. So to wear one color for all through high school and then 4 years later be wearing two other colors, I might be, well, Jose did the same thing, but it's definitely rare to think that you'd be coaching at your rivals and to be a part of something special. But what Coach Laporte created and the things he taught me and exposed me to on the court, off the court, the marketing of basketball. I mean, you guys couldn't pull up Dave Kreider's name with Ray. I was like, Dave Kreider, you know, and it was a special time, and there's not very many coaches like that left. Obviously, the climate and the landscape of sports is a lot different in high school, so it's much more difficult for coaches to be able to be at somewhere for 4, 6, 9, 12 double-digit years because the pressure is just different. But we were able to be a part of the time when guys could be there for 20 years, or Lippy being at St. Joe's for how many years. So something that's definitely special.
And we gonna hang out right there because, man, the Bishop O'Dowd and St. Joe's dynamic was something crazy. So my brother went to Bishop O'Dowd for 2 years, but ended up graduating from Skyline. There was always ties to both of the schools. Our immediate group are these guys right here, but it's Big Tone and Derek Lambeth. And they're from O'Dowd. They came up and we all played at Sac State together as well. So the dynamic was always there. I think it was my sophomore year is when we stopped it being in their league, and I felt robbed of my high school experience because playing at that time Cal State Hayward, it's Cal State East Bay now, playing that game as our regular season game was something before I ever stepped on to St. Joe's campus when I was a kid. Remember going to seeing Jason Kidd break the rim in live and everything. I'm so bummed that regular season matchup isn't there because it was classic, man. Those two organizations, those two schools was the part that made some of the stuff we had growing up special, man.
Yeah, the old CAL, which it was called, when it was O'Dowd, St. Joe's, St. Mary's, St. Liz, St. Patrick's, De La Salle, and Monroe. And then when the league started shifting, there's a lot of thought that goes into why people do that. But that's not something I put any effort into. But you know, for those of us who were '80s kids or '90s coaches or '90s players, we kind of go back to when things were a little bit simpler. When Cal State Hayward, now Cal State East Bay, used to get sold out because Jason Kidd playing was like must-see TV.
Damn.
I mean,
No doubt.
I've seen a lot of high school basketball in my life. I haven't seen a handful of guys do what Jason Kidd did in high school. Not that he wasn't a great NBA player, but what he did in high school,
Unreal.
He was like a maestro.
Crazy.
6'4", rebound it, push it down, finger roll it, find guys. It's like he just played in a different gear, man. Same way he played at Cal, same way he played in the pros. But Jason was. I got Jason Kidd's story for you.
Let's go.
I was decent in high school. I played a couple years of varsity. I was solid. No, I used to give y'all buckets of stuff. But back to Jason, I knew when I came back, it might have been my senior year in high school or after I graduated. So '86, Jason Kidd came up to O'Dowd. He lived right up above O'Dowd.
He did.
He went to St. Pascal's, came down, going in the 8th grade, going to 9th grade. I'm like, let's hoop it up. He whooped me. I was like, he pretty damn good.
Damn.
But I had seen him. I used to referee Jason, and his backcourt mate used to be a kid named Andre. 5th grade, 4th grade, Jason was doing the same thing he did for the Dallas Mavericks to win the championship. So he's always been that special, unique talent. And I think the story is, so Jason, if you're hearing, guys from Oakland, Jason would have gone to O'Dowd, but Coach Phelps told him he couldn't play varsity as a freshman.
Yep.
So he went to St. Joe's.
So
Crazy.
is it safe to say, I mean, would you put Jason Kidd at best player out of Northern California ever?
I think that's
think so.
Without trying to get deep into it, that's a conversation we can definitely have.
Who would be, let's just talk about this real quick.
Gary
Payton.
Okay. Kevin Johnson?
right there.
Kevin's in that class
Right
for
there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's why without being disrespectful to those guys who are really, really good, but Jay, because, I mean, the Yellow Jacket, let's just put the two Yellow Jacket guys, Gary and Jason.
Yep.
So let's just give them a little bit of a head start. But I saw Kevin Johnson give my brother, who played at UC Davis, my brother's Hall of Fame at UC Davis.
Okay.
Star, and he battled Kevin Johnson at Cal in 1983, 84.
Oh, shit.
So-
Bill Russell's from the Bay, huh?
We just starting it, Rashawn. We just starting.
Saying y'all really gonna get in trouble.
We just starting.
Well, what we said, what I specifically said is in no
He
specific.
said in that era. He
in-
was saying in the
in-
50s and 60s.
I'm just saying best player in Northern California.
Oh, I didn't. I want to say ever.
That's what he said.
No specific order. Top 5.
Man, I mean, Jay is my favorite. Jason is my favorite player ever. Like,
Jason Kidd, Gary Payton,
I
Kevin
didn't
Johnson.
see Bill Russell dominate at the level. Obviously, I know the history, so I'm only speak to people I saw with my own eyes.
Nobody cares about Stephen A. in this room.
No.
Or Mad Dog. Those guys are awful.
Yeah.
Stephen A.
But
is-
obviously, Northern California has been laced with great basketball players for
yeah,
eons.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Little side note too, man. Hecker randomly, I think I texted Matt about this morning. I randomly got between on that same O'Dowd and St. Joe's talk. I got the scouting report from an O'Dowd player on us back in high school. That's just hilarious, man. That's just hilarious.
So when you played Joe's,
Yeah, it was
Sunday-
actually the year after Sean was gone because Justin Davis was on it. I just got one of the pages. It was Nate, me, Ray, B. Ferg, Justin, and Big Dre.
was it accurate?
I got it right here. You let me see. Let you.
Wow.
It's crazy, and it wasn't D Lamb. It wasn't.
It wasn't Tone Champion.
It wasn't Toe Champion.
Was John O'Mesker Jones there then?
You want? Can you read that? Can you?
Because I'm just keeping it real right now. I can just keep it real, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, please. It's crazy.
Don't judge.
So it was just them to us. So that's one that Jono would have been on. It got
Ray Young, great leaper, crowd pleaser, strong body, won't go left more than one dribble. Oh, that's really funny.
that's gr-
Oh, Andre Brewer. Peace out to Andre Brewer. That's funny. Rene Jocks, best player on the team. Weaknesses. Only goes well once with left hand off dribble. So first step off drive. Wants to always score in the clutch.
Wow.
I forgot Justin was even there.
Justin was there. So to put context in what he's reading right now,
Was this your first year on the team?
that was the last year. This is my senior year. Senior year in high school.
One of the top 25
And-
teams in the country.
Yeah, I think that year because Justin was on, I think we had got up to like 7th or 8th in the nation.
Was
at the
Rene
time.
really the best player on that team?
Rene was.
I was not
a
the best player
critical-
on the team.
Best
No.
player and the best talent is subjective.
I definitely was not. But we're talking about me and Nate went to Sac State. So it was just 6 people on this. Me and Nate went to Sac State. Then we have Ray going to UCLA. The 4-man, Justin Davis, going to Stanford. The 5-man was technically the backup 5-man. I don't know if he started every time. Andre Brewer, University of San Francisco. And then the 6-person, he was 7 foot. He was a footer.
Holy moly.
And Blandon Ferguson, University of Illinois. That's the 6 that's on the page that that got sent to me was that. That's what we were rolling with, man.
Pumping out talent.
Unreal. Their grade, my grade, the year after, 9 Division I athletes, and then another 4 or 5 to Division II, including Rashawn Fulcher, who won a D2 national championship. That's what we were putting to D2. Just studs. It's crazy.
Round of applause, boys.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Good times.
It was real good times, man.
So curious, how many years did you coach there?
4.
And then now let's take us to what the next adventure was for you after
Mm-hmm.
that.
Ooh. Also, I was there. I coached cross country and track too.
Oh yeah.
Sidebar. But I left St. Joe's after 4 years, and I went and taught 3rd and 4th grade in San Leandro School called Garfield Elementary School. And it's just the most life-changing experience to know that little kids 8 and 9 would come into you every day and just give you a hug just because you were there.
That's awesome.
And I don't think I'd had my daughter when I first started, so I was kidless. But I realized that the kids in this classroom will spend more time with me each day than they do with their own parents.
That's right.
And that changed my whole perspective with how I would operate as a parent through my kids' educational journey. My wife was fortunate enough when she stayed at home with the kids and in between working and not working that she was always in the classroom doing spelling tests and everything. So that experience as a 3rd and 4th grade teacher, number one, made me fully respect the journey of an educator right now. And obviously, that's a whole nother podcast. But so I did that for a couple years, and I loved it. And then I got a call to start my career in sports marketing in 1999, and I moved up to Beaverton, Oregon.
Love it. And I
It's
want to
kinda
get
where
into that, but I just want to continue the timeline. I got to ask a couple more questions for back while you're in the St. Joe's era, because you were so heavily into our travel ball stuff, our AAU stuff as a coach there, man. So before we see what's next, man, give me your breakdown of how different it was for what we were doing at St. Joe's compared to when we're on the road, out in Vegas, things like that, man.
And if there's any inappropriate stories, I would love to hear them.
Plenty of those, man.
I'm not going to put anyone out there at this point. I think what made this group of guys experience so unique is because they had an incredible top-tier high school program and playing with Oakland Slam and Jam, now known as the Oakland Soldiers. Mm-hmm. They had an incredible national. We weren't national at that point. I go in front. We were growing to national. They had a top-level AAU program. So they were consistently being coached by high-level guys who cared about basketball. No one was trying to hustle them to leverage their own business ventures, but they were always competing with the best or competing against the best. And I think that made a big difference in their journeys and also their love for the game. But, I mean, whether it was Javon Harris at El Cerrito or Drew Gooden, I keep forgetting Justin with St. Joe's. That's so crazy. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we got to shout out Jules Milstead and the guys who a lot of kids came to St. Joe's for 2 years and transferred and went to other places. Yep. But they had a 12-month ecosystem of basketball that was at the highest level of anyone in Northern California, I would say at the time. I can't speak for Southern California, but for the success they all had as athletes and student athletes, it shouldn't be surprising because they were surrounded by the best.
No doubt. It was crazy, man. I mean, the amount of people who went to all the top colleges just out of our little ecosystem was pretty crazy, and those Vegas tournaments were insane. Now, it's obviously different now than what it was back then. All the coaches were there, but we didn't have the social media stuff. But that's when stuff started getting pretty big. That's when those tournaments started having 200 teams, because that wasn't a thing really before then, right?
Now, people started finding the ways that how do we monetize this summer travel, AAU, grassroots basketball, however you want to fill in the blank. And to be a part of it, 93 through 99, working in Oakland Slam and Jam, shout out to Calvin Andrews and
yes, sir.
Carl Foster and Hashem and Mark Olivier and that crew. But to be transplanted into the person who was working for a shoe company that was investing $5, $6, $8, $10 million a year to create these platforms gave me a whole different perspective. But you were talking about your daughter earlier playing softball. I mean, youth sports is totally on steroids. And I like to separate it between youth sports and I like to talk about competitive youth sports. I mean, the rec sports really don't exist anymore. I mean, kids really can't just play anything and just see if they like it. You know, Matt's son, he's talking about him playing flag football and being the fastest kid out there. I mean, it's just, we have lost our way as a society. We've lost our way as a culture. I like to think that, I don't have the exact answer, but some of the things I've been a part of, some of the platforms we've created, we've definitely kind of, we kind of need to do a reset, because I think the ones who are suffering are kids and their journeys and the expectations that are being put in, the pressures that are being put on young athletes. A lot of them who are talented enough to play for a long time are unfortunately never going to reach their stride. It's just the mental stress and the pressures of just getting there. I mean, there's 13 or 14-year-old kids right now who are super talented, but I watch myself with parents, oh, my son's a brand, he's this and he's that. Yeah, he might be, but you got kids who are 13 or 14 being already anointed the crown that you're going to get drafted in 2030. And not that it's my job to tell anyone how to raise their own kids. I'm still trying to successfully get mine out of my own pocket. But I definitely have some insights that I think could probably help a few parents if they wanted things to just be aware of. So, no, but when you guys talk about, I mean, Ray being the recruit he was, opened up a lot of doors for everybody. So we're talking about Ray Young. I mean, I remember that's when I first met Roy Williams. That's when I first met Matt Doherty at Carolina. So when Carolina, Kansas, Duke, Stanford, Lute, Jesse Evans from Arizona was recruiting Ray, that changed all of our lives. I'm still connected indirectly to some of those. When I see them, it's because I met them in 1996. They were recruiting Ray, which means it opened up doors for Nate and Rene and Blandon, because Ray was kind of just that person that they all came to see. And some of those coaches who were at those high-level schools that were recruiting Ray 2 years later had trickled down to other programs, so they were looking at Rene and Jason and the guys that came behind him. So, I mean, there's a lot that we can't get into, but I can look back and didn't see how all the pieces of the puzzle were kind of stacking, and everyone loved Coach Laporte. And so coming to see him coming into that small gym, coming into his office for a few minutes to watch practice, like Coach was very strategic. I don't think we gave him credit for him.
No,
because he was just old school cat. You guys talking about being a boxer, which I never knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but it was special time. So, but basketball, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but basketball where it is in 2024 to where you guys played in the summer of 96 and 97, hardcore, when you guys were traveling. It's a lot more opportunities. It's a lot more mess. It's a lot more saturated, but you have to just navigate it a lot differently.
You've seen it all, man. I'll pause on one of the things you said in there just to bring up another thing that vividly plays through. And I literally say to people all the time, you're talking about the pressure of everything that goes on. I think I have a good relationship with pressure in general, like, you know, playing in front of people, speaking in front of people, things like that. And that all stemmed from back in the day. I vividly remember in Vegas with you coaching, we almost, I think we did blow the game. We broken play at the end. We go down by one. There's only like 10 or 15 seconds left, and everybody's disheveled, coming back mad because somebody missed a assignment and everything. You bring us all over there, and I vividly remember you just looking at everybody. He's like, "Hey, man, look around. Isn't this fun?" Like, you slowed it down for me. I literally refer to that all the time. You've heard me say this to random people. You slowed down a pressure situation, and it's literally what I used for the rest of my life when pressure situations happen, to slow down, look around, enjoy it. Like, that's what we're out there for. Like, isn't this fun? Look around. And it's pressure situations. So I got to make sure I say that one as well, because I literally say that all the time, of one thing that I go back to of why I think I have a decent relationship with pressure. You got to enjoy it. One of my sayings now that I say all the time, man, you got to learn to fucking dance in the rain, man. And it wasn't specifically said like that, but that was where it originated from, is loving those pressure situations when you said that, man.
I appreciate that call out. But what made that possible is because all of you guys, and this, who we keep referring to all these names, no one, unless you guys want to be honest and say it, no one had a parent who was off the rocker, who had crazy expectations. So none of us as coaches were afraid of, I don't know if we had email back then, of having to deal with a parent after game. They all respected the process. Of course, they always wish that somebody would have got another bucket. That's normal parenting. But they didn't have crazy things going on at home that were forcing them to get outside their roles.
You're right.
That made a hell of a difference. We all knew where Ray was. Ray wasn't better than anyone. He was just different. So everyone had a place, and everyone could respect where everyone's journey was, which right now is so decisive right now, which kids are going through. Man, I mean, you got to figure out, because everybody wants their kid to shine. Everyone wants their kid to make it. It's so much stress. It's so much pressure for too many kids. And a lot of them are out there playing. They aren't playing with the confidence. I say one of my keynote speeches I'm working on, another part of my journey, is that parents, your number one job is to instill confidence in your kid. And too many of them are taking confidence away. You guys never had to look in the stands.
You're right.
You never
Good
looked
point,
in the stands.
man.
You weren't shooting the ball, trying to please. You weren't, and parents now it's a lot. And I'd say, you want to help your kid? What you say to your kid matters. When you say it, time and score, time and place. You shouldn't be talking to your kid 2 minutes after the game in the car. Not saying I haven't done something with a parent. I mean, if you want to, not a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I've caught myself. But unfortunately, parents, because they care so much, they care too much. And some of those kids that don't make it, that won't make it, I'm talking about high potential athletes, because they just get exhausted, or they start to self-medicate themselves in other areas dealing with their pressure. And that's a whole nother podcast. But
Because they care too much, and they're also potentially, some of these parents out there just, maybe they didn't make it, and they're just trying to live their dream through their kid.
Who wouldn't want to be Mama Kelsey last year?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be?
Yeah.
But obviously, she had to pour a whole lot of love and a whole lot to raise those two men the way she's done, that they can be how they are. Now, of course, we don't know what's behind the scenes, but unfortunately, the 1970s of raising the kids, it's not working today. No, you just yelling and cursing and getting in your kid's face, and That's not working. I haven't seen that work out too well for kids getting drafted. That's not how it works.
Not at all. And I will say this, man, as much as basketball was my life back in the day, the little bit of AAU that I had with my son, I remember this guy's 15 now. I'm probably talking like 10, 11, 12 years old when he was still playing. I was in some of those gyms, remembering how I loved to be in those gyms, then looking around at some of these parents and was disgusted. I didn't want no part of it. I didn't want my kids to be around it, man. Like, we've seen parents fighting. Like, granted, it's always kind of been like that because parents are overbearing, but
It's worse now.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And I was happy that my son didn't love it like that because I didn't want to be in those gyms, man. And that was my life. I never thought there would be like me working and doing loans and stuff that was never even on the radar. I thought I was always going to play basketball. It was my life. So I had to psychoanalyze myself like, why don't I want my kid to play basketball? And that's really what it was. It's crazy.
Nope. And I'll just add on to that. Say it's not just basketball.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
You're
It's
right.
volleyball.
Soccer.
It's soccer. It's baseball. It's softball. The culture of American youth sports that's led by adults. I just call them mentors. You're a parent, you're a coach, you're an athletic director, you're a media writer, you are the mentors in this space. We need to have our shit checked out because right now we're pouring too much of the wrong stuff in there, and it's unfortunate. How many NBA players are there? 450.
Yeah.
How many rounds they're getting drafted? Only two rounds. Only 60. Those 60 you drafted, 20 of them from overseas. There's only 40. So it's like, we're all chasing these things, and I don't have all the answers.
Of course.
I don't have, but part of my crusade when I'm going, I call it a crusade because I feel it's a responsibility that some parents want to see how can they help their kid's journey.
Yep.
So what I've created in my speaking platform is how do I help competitive young athletes and their mentors cultivate a more healthier sports journey.
Let's go.
That's it.
Let's go. I've been seeing
all
what
I'm
you're
talking
doing, and we're going to dive deep into that. I just want to continue to get that timeline before we really talk about what you're doing right now because I'm amazed. It's what everybody needs, and looking forward to seeing and getting that word out as much as possible. Let's go back to 99. You said you moved.
I moved.
Let's go with that timeline.
Moved, left San. I was living in San Leandro, California, not Oakland. We had a nice one bedroom. All right, Nate, represent.
My man just paused and looked at the camera for that one.
Yeah.
I
that's
had to
great.
make sure I gave him a shout.
Yes, sir.
I lived off East 14th Street and Davis Street. One bedroom, didn't have a washer and dryer. We had our first daughter, and I got a call to go move to Beaverton, Oregon, and replace a guy named Darren Kalish, who worked at Adidas. My first position in corporate America was the Adidas grassroots basketball coordinator in 1999. And we drove up there, lived in an apartment, had one car, couldn't afford two cars, was making $32K. My wife was selling Tupperware at the mall on weekends. She was delivering phone books. Anything we had to do, but I was living the dream. I didn't know that was my dream, but once I got there, I'm like, okay, I got a chance. And my whole life, I had been prepping for that, just didn't know I had. Stuff I was doing with Calvin Andrews, stuff I was doing with the academics and athletics all-star game, and some other in-your-right sports. I was preparing for this, I just didn't know it. But getting up there to work for Adidas and getting exposed to a corporate setting and the growth and the maturity I made as a professional, as a man, as a father, as a husband, and all those things, that just kind of started. And I haven't looked back.
Yeah, definitely. How long did it take you to climb up that ladder, man? Because you were
It's all
top.
No, it's all relative. I like to think I got some more climbing got some more climbing to do, but I was able to work for Adidas or Reebok from 1999 to 2017. So I had a 17-year plus run working at two fantastic global sports brands. I grew, I learned a lot. Started off as a person who was, I won't say peon level, that might, but I started on a ground floor.
Yeah.
And towards the end, before they shut me down, I was in a pretty good spot. I grew and learned. I always look back and go, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't have too many.
Yeah.
I don't have too many. And so I know this chapter where I'm in right now, at 50 plus, I got to take all those lessons and go forward. But no, I had tremendous families that trusted me to be a part of their kids' journey, whether you came to a camp for 5 days, whether you played on a sponsored team, whether it was somebody I was intimately involved with on their whole journey from freshman to senior year. I had a couple of brands that allowed me to allocate and spend millions of dollars sending shoes. Everyone in here has been the benefit of me sending shoes, T-shirts, and warm-ups at some point. I like to say I've probably sent out more shoes or authorized more shoes and gear to be sent out than almost anyone in the country, not named Sonny Vaccaro or George Raveling or a couple other guys. But no, I had a really, really good run in that industry at that time.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot.
You saw it all, man. You saw it all. It's just crazy, man. You exit out of the industry. What was the next step, man?
The next step after leaving the footwear industry was regrouping. I mean, my exit came kind of unexpected. I don't know, somehow the NCAA and the FBI kind of got things twisted and my name got caught up in it for somehow. And so I kind of had to lay low for a little while and make sure that my truth came out, which took a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got through that process, I started to regroup. And to be honest, I was sour on basketball for a year.
I bet.
I didn't watch basketball for a year.
Wow.
You know, I was hurt, frustrated, depressed, felt wrong. You know, I can't get the full truth. I'm saving it for the book.
Yep.
But, you know, just because y'all got books, my book's coming too, Rashawn. I see you already giggling, bro. Everybody got a book. I know book's not special anymore. I'm going to do an album, too, about it. No, once I came out that and I started remembering who I am and realized that, you know, we all go through stuff so we can grow through stuff and the support of, obviously, my wife and my kids and people. But I realized that I still had a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of, how do I say it? Had a lot of sweat equity built in this game of basketball.
Definitely.
So I want to get in basketball. Don't want to be an agent. Don't want to work back in the footwear space. So I wanted to get in basketball management. So I started my own sports management company called Tribute Sports Management. And I did that in 2018. And I partners named Ward Jenkins and Chris Dennis and Barry Aberdeen, who all through the course have all been a part. And we managed a couple of NBA players, a couple overseas players, and that kind of just got me back into the mix. And I started hustling. And I didn't realize it until that point how nice it was to have that corporate credit card I used to have. Because putting things on the Chris Rivers Amex, she don't know about all of it. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. So, but no, I had to just tap into the relationships I had and whoever I had been the previous 18 years, I had to rely on that would be enough to get me started, and it opened up a lot of doors. I've been blessed to meet people all throughout the country. If you guys gave me a state and a city, I could probably give you a contact there. And I like to think that I stand behind 97 or 98% of the things I've ever done. Right or wrong, I can sit here and look in the eye and go, yeah, I did it, and I had good intentions. A couple times, I want that pitch back.
Yeah.
But I like to think that we were aiming for strikes at all time.
Man, can you just tell how many people he's like, you know, to go through what you went through and to still have those doors completely wide open? That's a testament to who you are. He's touched people all. I've been telling you, man.
So Tribute. Is that you're still in that?
No, Tribute is now. Right now I work for a sports agency called XL Sports Management, one of the elite global sports agencies in the world. But Tribute was my transition that I started because I wanted to be in sports. I wanted to be involved. I named it Tribute after my dad. He was still living at the time, but it was a tribute to my dad initially, as well as all the kids and families who were poured into me. All these guys are testament. Everyone who poured into my journey and trusted me to be a little part of their journey. That's how I named it Tribute Sports. And I didn't know what I was trying to do. Had a lot of people help me get business. I mean, I was basically operating in the deficit for the first couple of years, you know, and then I started getting rolling a little bit, so.
During that time, are there any names, you said NBA, overseas, are there any names that stick out to you that were special for you?
Yes, there's definitely a few. Kevon Looney would be one. Kevon Looney is my guy till the end.
Let's go.
And I don't work with him as intimately as I did then, but we're still super close friends.
He played good in the playoffs last year. Killed
Yes,
me.
he played great in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a bad
He was a
name.
key
That's a bad
killer. I
name
know.
to the
That's
Kings
bad
fan.
for me.
I know, and we need Steve Kerr to give him some more minutes, but Kevon will figure it out. So, no, there's a couple guys who played overseas and it wasn't necessarily the level that the guys played with. It was the access and the opportunity that they gave. This kid named Alex Robinson who went to TCU, top 5 in assists in 2019. He gave me a chance to learn how the overseas game worked. Rob Edwards, who finished at Arizona State, he was a part of it. There's a little young dude named Kalen Malone, whose dad, Mitch Malone, Texas Blue Chips, Rashawn. You know him.
Let's go.
And there's just people who, it wasn't about that you know, but the people who trusted me to work with him. Javante Smart helped me. Javante Smart just got signed overseas. He played at LSU, has been playing back and forth from the G League and the NBA. So there's a lot of kids and families who just gave me a chance, who just trusted that I would figure it out. I didn't have all the answers.
Man, what's that agent life like, man? That's a
You know
lot of
what?
traveling, ain't
The
it?
agent life's all right. Now, I'm not a certified agent. That's
Yeah,
not,
okay,
that's,
got
that's
it.
not what I wanted to be. I mean, I grew up watching Bill Duffy and AG and the guys from
Yeah.
Oakland,
Uh-huh.
you know, who did it at the highest level. And I watched what Calvin Andrews
man.
and what Mott's has done.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that there's a certain type of grit and teeth you have to be an NBA agent, that I had the skill set and the qualifications to do, but not the drive or the passion. You know, I'm a different type of shark. Like, I don't know my fish that well, so I can't give you different levels. But those guys are different types of sharks.
Yeah.
I'm the type of shark that you see me swimming up to you, hey, come over. Them other type of sharks is like, he coming to bite me.
Yeah.
And you need both of them to work. So I'm the other type. So that's why I wanted to work in the business where I had the chance to help mentor and grow careers.
Yeah.
And provide guidance and be a fiduciary depending upon where you were in your career. So, but no, the agency, working for an agency now, because there's so much potential money in sports and working with athletes, I won't call it it is cutthroat, but cutthroat, it's a very competitive. It's no different than Pepsi and Coke. It's no different than Red Bull and
Rockstar.
Rockstar, thank you. No different than Liquid Death and
Aquafina.
Okay. Dasani, I'll give it to you. So
We can do this all day, Chris. I'm just a fly on the wall, but let's go.
you're ready. Yeah, but the agency life has been good to me. Where I work, XL Sports Management, started by Jeff Schwartz and Sam Goldfeder. That's a whole nother conversation. But I love what I do right now. And they give me a chance to run around and play to my strengths, which is connect with people, get in gyms, build relationships, try to put good people with great people, and see, can we put you on journeys.
Oh, man. And then I know I saw your face pop up on TV, man, a little bit, messing with the Ball brothers, right, man?
You know what? That 18 months was 18 months, yeah.
Was that what it was? I just
18
saw it.
months.
I was like, is that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I like to clarify.
Yeah, okay.
I worked with Big Baller Brand with LeVar.
Okay.
I got to meet his sons, got to be around his sons. I was not involved in LaMelo Alonzo's or Jello's basketball career.
Okay.
I like to clarify that. But
Okay.
I've been in the house with him.
Yeah.
I've definitely been at the table through some heated conversations, which is documented
I
on
seen
social
it.
media.
I seen it.
But that 18 months I got to spend with LeVar was one of the most entertaining times in my life I will never, ever forget.
That's a great word that you just used for that. He said entertaining.
People always go, is he really like that? 100%. There is no off switch for LeVar. I mean, he is the most confident, and I battle with him. I'm the biggest hater. People know, they know I'm just a hater. And so people go, you can't say that to LeVar? Go, why not? That's the truth. So, I mean, somebody got to try to hold him accountable because he thought he could do anything. Like when he make those Michael Jordan comments, he's better. He's being serious.
Oh, my
He's being serious.
goodness.
But what I learned from being around him is that what's wrong with loving your sons blindly? What's wrong with telling the world that you have great children? What's wrong with being an advocate for your kids? What's wrong with a black man in America standing up, going on national TV saying, my sons are amazing. What are you going to do about it? What's wrong with me starting a brand built off my kids? Why do I have to go do what everyone else in front of me has done, what everyone else I should do? Why can't I carve my path? We know who changes the world, the crazy ones. He had a great 5-year run. I've been to his crib. Me and my son went there last July and just hung out. He is the world's best chili cook, too. He'll tell you that.
Whoa.
He is. But LeVar Ball opened up a door. I wasn't working at the time. He put money in my pocket, gave me a chance to learn. I didn't do as great of a job as looking back, I wish I could have. But he gave me, I wasn't working at that time when he gave me opportunity. I mean, he cut me a check, like not cut a check, like wrote the check, gave me a check every month for consulting and being part of his team. I got to go to Australia with him twice in the whole Facebook show and watch LaMelo cook out there. I got to do some amazing things.
That's awesome.
And LeVar is who you see he is. And we did more arguing than anything. So I'm like, LeVar, stop it. I can't. I just can't. And if I called him right now, we'd get him on speakerphone. He calls me ones and twos because he knows I used to DJ. And that's what he calls me, ones and twos. So
Man, what an experience,
That
bro.
is incredible,
no,
man.
He is a fantastic human who just loves his kids. And he's fortunate enough to catch, lightning in the bottle?
Yeah.
At the right time. His sons were unbelievable high school players.
They were.
Obviously, Lonzo's one of the greatest point guards in UCLA history.
Yep.
LaMelo's different 2X. And Jello, although he hasn't got to the NBA level, still one of the most prolific scorers in California history, and one of the most. He could be a model. I mean, Jello can do whatever he wants. So he created tremendous young men who are great athletes, and all the pressure and stuff that they went through, and they kept it all mom and pop.
Yeah.
I mean, I was at a game in Las Vegas at the tournament I was hosting when LaMelo played against Zion, 2017, and we had to shut down. Were you guys there, Adam and Matt? We had to shut down the arena, and the police were calling me outside going, if you don't get this crowd, we're going to shut it down. I had to go outside and tell LeBron James that he couldn't come in the game. True story.
What?
Yeah. I had to go outside and tell LeBron, who I knew from a previous life, that he couldn't come into the game because we would have got shut down. So that was the summer of 2017 in July. And that's all because LeVar trusted me. And so 2 years later, when I was looking for work, needing to get back on my feet, he gave me a chance. So when I speak about LeVar, I'm really animated about it because I know all the heat he takes. Because he should, because he said some crazy stuff.
Yes.
So I get where people are coming from. But the man and the conviction he has and the way he rocks with people he's down with, LeVar will always be a buck with me.
That's amazing.
That's love.
That's amazing.
I get the brothers mixed up. Who's the one that plays for the Hornets right now?
LaMelo.
LaMelo's good.
Melo's.
He's the one who's 2 times different. And
Yeah.
Lonzo,
LaMelo-
if he gets back to being healthy, he sees,
I don't know.
he sees the game.
I don't know.
He's great, man. He's great, man. That
In the
sucks.
NBA?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I don't know.
Yeah.
it's been a while.
He's
I
been hurt
remember
for a
his
second,
jump
man.
shot. The jump shot wasn't that great.
It's different.
switched
No,
it.
it was just different.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah. But if you want somebody taking the ball off the glass, coming down, feeding four of the guys,
Man,
Yeah.
that's magic.
But I
right
guess
there.
what
Like,
I guess
agree.
what I'm trying to say is the word great.
yeah.
He's good.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
By NBA standards,
By NBA
By
NBA
NBA standards, his brother is, from what I've seen, he's on the verge of being great. I mean, that dude
true.
can hoop.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
he
why he
can,
called him 2X.
yeah, he can fly. He's fast. He can fly out the building.
He's definitely
Man,
different.
he's fun to watch.
Oh,
and he
heck yeah.
has unwavering. He's LeVar. That's who he is. Unwavering confidence.
Confidence. Yeah.
And he's 6'7".
Yeah.
He's 6'7".
Yeah.
Is he really? I think he runs point.
Yes.
At 6'7". That's
And he grew
crazy.
up and he was always the younger brother. So when they played, it's a funny story, but I saw them play. They always played together.
Yep.
And they always played up. So LaMelo, when he was like 7th, 8th grade, the mom and pops were on the sideline coaching, literally. The rule was LaMelo never crossed half court. They'd play 4-on-5 on defense, get the ball out there, just throw it to LaMelo. He would just shoot threes. True story. That's how they played. And that's how they played in high school and won a national championship. Basically playing that same game. So, they're junking up the game. They're doing everything. They were scoring 95, 100 points. I mean, Melo scored, I think, 90 in a game by himself.
Was it not 100?
It might have been 100.
I
but
think
it's
he
just-
hit. Maybe it was 90. 92.
Close, yeah.
That is incredible.
So they were never afraid
So-
to be different.
Southern Cal,
Never.
right?
Huh?
Southern Cal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chino Hills.
Chino Hills. Yep.
Wow.
Mhm. Oh my goodness,
No, great family, man.
man! Just you've seen the best basketball around, man.
I was like to say, I don't think I've seen all, but I've seen enough over a 30-year period because starting with you guys in 93. Matt, were you on the team when we got beat by 40 with Shea Cotton in Vegas? Yeah, I coached a team that got beat by 40 with Shea Cotton when he was 14U. And I didn't know that God created people that look like that at 14.
Exactly.
And when I see Shea now still come up and give him love, he probably doesn't remember that game because he did that to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it was those type of experiences that changed my life watching Shea. And then I was fortunate enough to coach a team in Las Vegas, Easter Classic, 93, 14U, a different team. Eddie House was on the team. He was the 2 guard. Mickey Hope, class of 95, who played James Logan, was on the team. David Hector, a couple kids from De La Salle. And we didn't know Eddie House was going to be a pro. We didn't know Eddie was going to go to Arizona State from Hayward High School and go to Cal and score 49 points. Excuse me, it was 61. He corrected me. I said, Eddie, you put 61 Rivers. It might have been 62, but we didn't think like that. So I was around some high-level players from a long time. So to fast forward, that was just in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So to fast forward that to my years at Adidas, the time in Reebok, to being around the balls, to what I'm doing now from an agency standpoint, to giving back now, it's just more so I want to go back and just help parents because 98% of the people are not going to be talked about.
Yeah.
How do we help them do what you guys are doing? How do we help them run businesses? How do we help them get back to their community? How do we help them be better fathers, be better sons? That's what I'm about now. Because right now, most of this stuff is just shits and giggles.
Yeah.
We're all chasing the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I forget what it was, but you had sent Rene a text, and this dude, I'm a vulnerable dude, so I like when grown men can show emotion. But I know that you sent him a text, and then you sent me the screenshot that he sent you, and it was something in the context of he was proud of what you've accomplished as a
Yeah.
businessman.
Yeah, it was just one that it was recent or whatever, because we were around. I think it was, I don't know if it was surrounding this or right before the post, but yeah, I share it, and that stuff is special, man. It goes a long way. I think that's the one we've been around all the alphas in the world, but I don't think any of us is too proud to say how much how much we care for each other. You know, like it ain't about that. We are in a place now that we're, you know, all parents and things like that, where we understand the other side of it, you know, and why hold on to any of that? I ain't never been that cool anyway. So shit, why try to act it, you know?
No, but this group, the 4 in here and the extension of 12 or 13 guys, I mean, Adrian, we can go on forever, but Chris, I think what you know is that many guys that you've met through him, and I'm a little older than them, so Uncle Rivers, Coach Rivers, but there's no busters in their crew.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have all heard the quote or something similar. You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. No one has time for any people who aren't trying to be great. Great fathers, great brothers. And that's where I'm at in my life. I'm trying to just teach people those same lessons. So I'm trying to, Matt was one of the first people that talked to me. We used to talk about Tony Robbins. So I'm still trying to get coach. My moniker right now to call me Coach Rivers. That's who I am in my life. I got to be coach so I can be a better coach. So seeing what these guys are doing and what you guys are doing here, like when I first saw this, I was like, damn, that's fantastic. First I was a little envious because I knew I got to get mine going. So I'm up here taking mental notes of what's going on though.
Yes,
but
sir.
to see what these guys are doing, the fact that they can all get together and laugh and talk about the old days, and then they can talk about getting your guys' kids on the podcast, that's what I want people to hear about. I love what NBA players do. I love what Matt Barnes has done, and Matt's family. Matt slept on my in-laws' couch. And did you play in the game against NorCal versus SoCal? Are you and Matt Barnes? No.
We're in the same grade.
Yeah.
Was it NorCal versus SoCal? I might not have been in that game though. Oh, we are? Okay, just kidding.
Yeah, so-
Hey, we played in a lot of stuff, man.
Played a
My
lot
bad.
of stuff. So, but to think that, you know, meeting Matt Barnes then, when we used to remember he's just a 6'8" guy from Del Campo catching touchdowns, and him and Ray playing together, how far we go back and seeing what he's done as obviously an NBA player, as a UCLA player, but now as a outspoken, talented media journalist, and think that we were parts of that journey. That feels good. But I know I want to get back and do more.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back and make sure people know that there's lessons. You just don't get to where Matt Barnes and all those people, even people who don't play in NBA, without the fundamentals of being successful. What you guys are working in your real estate business, I don't even know the depths of your guys' company. The fundamentals of success have not changed. But unfortunately, too much of our youth culture is getting sucked into what I call their microwave mentality. They want success before the hard work.
Yep.
They want it instantly. They want to like it. They want to just think about it and it pops up. They want to get an AI shortcut. I get it. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
But we've messed it up.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping I can touch one person at a time to hopefully bring
Just
it back.
dive right into it then. What you're doing now, talk about your mission. I know you say you've been given the whys, but dive into what you're doing right now and all the speaking that you're doing and everything like that. Give us the whole gist of it.
What I'm doing right now is, Rene and Chris, I've created a leadership platform called Chris Rivers Rap, RAPP. And what I realized is that all these years that we've been talking about, which is really aging me, that I've been doing this, I've always been Coach Rivers. So it started off where I'm the son of a coach. My father, most of you guys have met him at some point. He's probably cooked for you at some point. You've seen it. My father was a proud man and a strong man. He was a kind man and a fair man. But he also had the ability to get you to believe more in yourself than you ever would have thought possible. And I realized that's what I was trying to do to you guys. And sharing some of the things, and I think I've done a little bit of that. But my fondest memory with my dad is those hot summer long days in Oakland, going up to Skyline High School track. When I was 9 and 10, it was me, my dad, his whistle, my Adidas track spikes, some extra short shorts, and the cinder track at Skyline High School. I was a pretty good track runner at an early age, and that's how me and my dad bonded. We bonded on me running laps. I ran the mile in the 800, and he blew the whistle. And when he blew it once, I ran faster. When he blew it twice, I slowed down. And I always think he kept blowing it once a lot because I had to keep running faster. So all that to say is, I ran a 5:19 mile when I was 10 years old. I was second in the nation in the mile. So, but it really wasn't about the track. It was about the lessons that he taught me. So now that I'm looking back in retrospect, why I've started this leadership platform, Coach Rivers is who I am. I was raised by a coach. I've been coaching my whole life. My kids are now being raised by a coach. So I feel it's important to use my platform that I've been a part of, all my stories, to talk about Derrick Rose and Dame and all these things that people think is cool, which it was, to go out and try to help parents and help coaches, help athletic directors and students that want to listen have a more healthier, holistic athletic journey. So Chris Rivers Rap is what it's called. I'm in it. That's what got me on Instagram. I've been hiding from the gram for 10 years. Got a long way to go, but I'm doing it 'cause it's from the heart. So speaking of that, you know when you go on shows, this ain't Oprah. You get a gift. You get a gift. But all you guys know about the St. Joe's beanies, I've evolved it.
Oh,
The beanie. Growing up in Oakland, you just wore a beanie. Whether you were, no matter what you wore, you just rocked a beanie. It just felt like something. So the first thing I created was I wear them every day. And I only wear stuff that means something to me. So I work for a lot of brands. I still wear my Big Baller brand stuff because that's personal to me.
yeah.
There's certain brands I don't wear, not because I don't have, I respect them, but I just don't have any equity. I still wear my Adidas. I got sweat equity in it. So Chris Rivers Rap is what I'm doing. I'm trying to get in front of as many teams, in front of many locker rooms, and right now I'm just hustling. But end of the year, I expect to be on some stages and do some keynote speaking and be able to deliver my message. And that's really what I'm doing right now.
You think that's gonna be like specific, like to high schools, or like where's that target audience at? I mean, just pretty much everywhere.
I'm going to say everywhere, not because it's not strategically planned out. Right now, I'm just getting in front of teams. I mean, I'm really working on my craft. But I also know that part of, I think, my success is going to be just me being myself. I've always spoke. We've talked about DJing. I mean, I can remember emceeing stuff when they were in high school, being up on stage as a teacher and doing things. So I've never been afraid of the stage of the limelight. But I think that the experiences that I've had that have been great, and some things that have not been so great, I can organically put into some storytelling and hopefully be able to. I'm not trying to inspire and motivate. I'm trying to get people just to think about their journey differently. If I can say one thing, I think parents is kind of the sweet spot of the people I want to touch. Because if I touch a parent, they can touch kids.
That's right.
If I touch a parent, they can touch other parents. Obviously, I'm going to touch athletes. I went up to Bishop O'Dowd and spoke yesterday.
Yep.
And Gary, did you guys play against Gary Hill?
Yep. He's in D Lamb's grade, right?
Okay. Yeah. His son was a freshman point guard there. Oh. So just to get full circle.
What's up,
but
Gary?
yeah, you just don't know. So I'm pretty passionate about it. So like my job right now is great. I work for a great company at Excel Sports, but my side project is getting out and getting into as many rooms, as many stages, as many opportunities like this. I appreciate you guys just letting me tell my story, because I don't think there's a limit on how much positivity we can have in the world.
That's right.
I don't think there's a limit on how much positivity that we should have black men speaking. I'm really into positivity, not just to make it sound kumbaya-ish, but I can't watch ESPN the way I used to. There's just too much negativity for me. They just get up. It's not about how great team was the one. It was like, how come so-and-so lost?
Thank you for saying that, by the way. ESPN is trash.
You know, well,
It is trash.
it's so, and I'm trying to be a person that, I understand the platform, I understand they got business, they need to do what they want to do, but I'm trying to organically, 3, 4, 7 people at a time, how can we have positive conversation where when it's all done, we could have disagreed, but I learned from you, you learned from me, and we grow, as opposed to let's just do as much shock value as we can that just tears people down. And that's just not what I'm trying to be a part of.
I'm so excited about this because I'm in the thick of it around parents all the time. I constantly tell my kids that whatever they do on the field or on the court, I've already done my stuff. It doesn't matter. So I'm so positive with them. It is not that way with 90% of the parents.
Yeah.
They live and die by what's going on out there. We all care about our kids. I get it. But damn, your life isn't dependent on if they hit that ball or not.
Right.
And they're so out of whack with reality. It drives me crazy. And I understand they haven't played as much sports as I have, most of them, and everything like that, but they need to hear what you're talking about.
99% of them have not played to the level you've played. And I have a close buddy named Rossi who does some motivational speaking out of Houston, and he speaks to a lot of high school groups. And he told parents one time, so I'm going to make sure I give him his quotes. He said, yo, all y'all dads out there is putting all that extra pressure on your 13 and 14-year-old sons. Let's be real. Y'all wasn't that nice when y'all played.
Let's go.
So stop it.
Let's go.
So when you think about it, think about all the dads in the stands. I mean, all of them ain't Dion with kids playing.
No.
Come on, that's not. All of them ain't Matt Barnes or Derek or Gilbert or Trevor. All these guys who got all these kids running around now who are hooping. That's the minute. Most of the kids' dads probably scored, I haven't scored a meaningful bucket in meaningful 40 years. Meaningful. That didn't mean, because I gave those clowns buckets. I could hoop when y'all was playing, but I haven't scored a meaningful bucket in 40 years. So I don't talk about that. But a lot of these parents, I get it. It's 50% of you out there that's playing.
Yep.
I've snapped on my son one time. My son, Zach, love him to death. He'll graduate from Oregon State in 5 months, June 15th.
Congrats, man.
Seventh grade
Congrats, you
game.
guys.
Might have been seventh grade game. We're driving home. This is suburbs of Portland, so just normal competitive ball. It was cool, but I was so hot at him, and I've never gotten this hot at him again because I didn't like how I felt after. We were in a car driving, and I was so mad after the game, and it wasn't about the score. It wouldn't matter how many points he had because his effort just sucked, and I realized that I would have never played like that. So we're driving back. His mom wasn't in the car because she wouldn't let me do this, of course. But I reached into my wallet. I opened my wallet. And I rolled down the window. He's just sitting there like, here we go, about to hear it again. Because you know how kids know what's coming. I started taking $1 out of my wallet and started throwing them out the window. I said, I would rather throw money out the window than watch the effort you just gave.
Ooh.
And I was being a little dramatic because I'm a dramatic person. And he looks at me. But then I said, if you notice, I didn't throw any $20 bill. I'm not crazy. And I put my wallet up. And after that, he's never heard from me again like that. I was like, I never want to go to that space again, ever. I was right, but how I approached it was wrong.
Yeah.
My timing was wrong. My delivery was wrong. But we get so far because we think that's how you're supposed to be. That's not how the kids who are really successful make. Even the kids who are really talented and the parents have been on them, there's a part of them that wishes dad and mom just would have shut the hell up.
Agreed.
Well, if it was quick, like less than 2-3 minutes, and it was only $1 bills, and you gave them love after, I like it personally.
100%. I'm sure we
Personally.
I'm sure we went to Cold Stone or something after. I had to feed him.
I got to give Rene his flowers. I always do this, and then we're gonna take a quick break so we can just, and then I want to end with some fun stuff. But he's a great dad, man. And I met Adam through Rene. We recently met Matt. And I mean, just to kind of put an exclamation on what you said earlier, man, this circle, man, it's a tight circle, man, of successful dudes. So just to be a part of that on that journey, it's
No
special.
busters allowed, fellas.
Even with that being said, I second guess my delivery to the kids all the time because I'm obviously a driven person. You want them to understand the power that they have. So it's always a tough thing what am I doing and how am I saying things to get the best out of them? And there's a lot of things I definitely look back at and just know, just like you said, the delivery, I know what the intention is, and I don't really care about softball. We had softball all the damn time. Like she ain't going to retire playing softball.
Right.
Ain't no money in it. So I don't care about the sport. I just care about her taking the limits off her brain is what it is. And I do the same for my sons. So that's the toughest part for me. We'll take a quick break, though.
Man, we've been having a good time with this Legacy Lounge. Just finished episode 15.
Yep.
Started off with backyard talks, and it's funny because I've had some people go, "Man, are you still selling real estate?" Yes, we are. And I just wanted to take some time right now just to talk about the forecast of 2024. We had a couple other real estate experts on as guests. We had Kim and Olivia on, and Olivia was just, very, very excited when she was saying, man, I think things are going to be changing on the upward. And I really wanted to take this time just to hear what's going on in the world with your business at Golden Bay Mortgage. You and I just recently got a buyer into escrow, so excited about that. But what do you think right now? What are you feeling right now as far as, are you getting more phone calls? Obviously, last year, 2023, was a pretty down year for a lot of us, right? And it's funny, man. Like I picked up 4 new buyers last week, and that was more buyers than I had picked up, throughout the entire year last year.
Yep.
So I'm taking that as a good sign, and we're hearing everyone's talking about interest rates going down. So what are you feeling? What are you sensing right now?
So interest rates aren't down yet, but it's coming. With that being said, activity is up tremendously. We have more new active files than we've had in a long time. But on top of that, the phone is ringing a lot more. I think everybody saw the doom and gloom of last year, understandably so, everything that we heard. But at the same time, they know that there's an opportunity before the rates drop for a lot of saving and to really get ahead of the the flood that's coming, and that's what we're seeing in there. And it's gonna be a good year in our industry, and I'm excited for it.
You know, it's funny because I reach out. I always reach out to you when it's not just like, you know, mortgage related, but I'm like, hey, Rene, I'm thinking about refinancing my auto loan. And you're like, what do you think about that? And I was able to successfully refinance my auto loan, but I wasn't super excited because it only dropped my payment by $200. And of course, what did they tell me? They said, well, when rates drop again, you just refi again.
That's right.
And so I'm thinking right now, you know, for the clients that we're working with, they have the same mindset,
Correct.
which is first of all, you have to have a need.
Yes.
You know, I don't think this is a marketplace where people are just buying because they're bored. You know, you have to have an immediate need. And so I just wanted to share the success story that we had with our recent buyer, Frances. Shout out to Frances. We got her under contract on an absolute stunning, beautiful home in a 55-year-old and older community in Westlake, not too far from where you live.
Correct.
And, you know, here we go again. It's a relationship thing because we knew the listing agent. The second that I had said my lender's Golden Bay Mortgage, she's like, I've gone on golf trips with Rene and Cam. So got our offer accepted. And not only did we get it accepted, but we got her, we attempted for the 2-1 buy down. There wasn't enough credit that the seller can give us. It was almost a $13,000 credit. We did get the 1-1 buy down, which was just shy of $9,000 that the seller gave to buy that down. So just touch on that program and kind of what it does.
So there's 2-1 buy down, there's a 1-1 buy down, there's a 1-0 buy down. We ended up with the 1-1. That talks of the numbers consist with the first 2 years. So year one and the second year, the interest rate is 1% lower than the fully indexed rate. That $9,000 and some change that is coming from the seller is literally the amount that our borrower is going to save over the first 24 months because of the reduced interest rate. She's ecstatic.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big, big thing, and we are able to help her save a lot of money while buying this house.
And let's just hypothetically say that rates drop. I'm going to be greedy right now and say that rates drop to 5.5%. She could refi at any time.
Anytime. The best part about this program is, let's say we've only been 12 months into this 24-month period of time with the lower rate, and we've only used half of the $9,500 of savings. The other half that she would be saving the second year goes towards the payoff of her existing loans. So she gets that savings one way or another, and we will lock her into a lower rate permanently when the right time comes.
Man, feels good. Hopefully we're going to see some more inventory. I feel like I've been saying that for the last 10 years is we need more inventory. But I'm excited about this year. I'm excited to hustle with you, man. Now we're going to shift gears and talk a little sports.
Okay. You want to go straight to the questions?
Are we good? No, I want to get into the
Okay,
Let me
great.
just do my thing.
Listen,
I was a
hey,
fly on the wall, so
Yeah,
I just want to talk
I know
about some fun stuff.
Whatever you got. I
Some
mean-
fun off the wall stuff, off topic stuff.
I can go there too.
So, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Ray, because when I met Ray for the first time, I was super impressed by just how down to earth and dude is just a good dude. And when I saw a clip on his Instagram, it was like you guys won a championship game. I don't know if that was your sophomore, junior, senior year, but it was Rene was shooting the last free throw. Yeah.
I know what you're talking
I don't
about.
know,
It was at St. Mary's College. It was us in St. Joe's. It was just like they fouled me. So
Yeah, and getting back some of the stuff you said you learned from him, which is, you know, the pressure thing. Say that again. Well, I don't know if it was a quote, but
oh no, the pressure he just calmed it down. So he said, "Look around." He was like, "Is this not what we came for? How
Yep.
fun is this?"
and you thrive in that
I
environment,
love
right?
it now.
And you know who that made me think of? Brock Purdy. I feel like Brock. We just got to witness it, you know, and so I just wanted to throw it out there for.
this
Are
where
you
we're going?
Are you a 49ers guy?
I am, yeah,
Okay.
and
Congratulations.
he's one of the people that we were talking about earlier that is this, you know, not subscribing like a lot of the sports analysts across the nation are not subscribing, but you know, I'm just want to throw it out there that I think he likes it when the pressure's on.
He's cool, calm, and collected. I'll give that to him for sure. And all I'm saying is I just wait and see. I don't like the flash in the pan. When people prove stuff to me, I believe.
You're a Raiders fan.
No, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Okay, so do you have a team?
I don't have a team. I don't have teams at all because I've worked. Just my personal perspective. I follow athletes that I have investment or connections to.
Yes,
I
sir.
respect all the sports. I respect the business, but I respect fans so much. Like, you're a 49ers fan. So I never want to act like I'm a fan of a team because I think being a fan, I need you to be fanatical for the 49ers. I need people to be fanatical for the Warriors because eventually that helps my business somehow. So I want them to respect what they do, and I don't root for teams. I kind of just go along with the flow. Now, I watch sports, and I always try to learn as much as I can, but I don't have a team.
Are there any like specific? Let's go back to basketball. Are there any like basketball players from when you were, let's say, a kid or growing up or in your 20s, or who would be some of the basketball players that were iconic for you growing up?
Obviously, George Gervin, the Iceman Nike poster with him sitting like this,
Let's
Iceman.
I love it.
Dr. J. Nike had a great run of posters back then. Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder. Get a little older, the Run TMC era with Tim, Mitch, and Chris did. It was pretty cool.
Were you a Warriors fan growing up?
When they won the chip in 76, 77 with Rick Barry, I don't know if I was a fan. I was so unattractive at that point. I watched Hoop, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. I would have been a Raiders fan back then. And an Oakland A's fan, back to back world championships, but sidebar.
So it's my goal right now. I'm a diehard Mitch Richmond fan. It's my favorite basketball player of all time. And I'm setting a goal here, and I think the more I talk about it, it's my goal to get him on our podcast before the end of the year. So I'm just gonna make that happen somehow. But yeah, Run TMC. When you mentioned that, man, when Mitch came to Sacramento, it was legendary, man. I mean, when he played the Supersonics, got the Kings to the playoffs, it was very special for me.
Good.
So, so we're gonna get in the questions now. We're gonna get a little music, food. Do you consider yourself a foodie or not at all? Because I asked Ray this question, I was very let down, and he cut me off. He's like, I'm a pre-made guy. You're not gonna get much foodie stuff out of me. So, would you say that you appreciate food or what?
I appreciate the fact. This is gonna sound real prepared, but it's not. I appreciate the fact I've never missed a meal because I respect the fact that some people don't eat all the time. I hate wasting food. I'm the guy who goes to a restaurant. I take my food home not because I'm going to eat, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to see somebody on the side of the road that I'm going to give it to.
I love it.
A couple nights ago, my wife and I we were in Pleasanton, had leftover pizza. I can't finish it. We ordered too much. That's what happens. We took it, gave it to the front desk people. So I'm not a foodie myself. Usually I'm in a hurry. Usually I'm on my phone anyway. So I don't enjoy it. I'm not one taking pictures to show people, look at the intricacies. I respect the science that goes into it, but I'm not a foodie, Chris.
I'm glad that we got to ask the question.
exactly.
Before I dig into it. So we'll just skip it. We'll go into music now. You used to DJ, so 100%. I know. So
anything 80s or 90s, hip hop, R&B, we can go there.
Give me top 5 artists of all time. No order. No, doesn't matter genre.
LL Cool J, Jay. I'm putting Drake in there because I'm gonna give Drake the last 20 years. That's 3.
Yep.
Got there at least one R&B artist in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't like to just say it and not really mean it, because once you say it, it's on.
I'll give you a couple of my favorites, and I'll just.
Please.
Just for inspiration. Michael Jackson and Prince were 2 of my faves.
Okay, and I'm taking Prince over Michael. Not that Michael wasn't who he was. Prince just spoke to me. Little Red Corvette. Doves Cry. I mean, we slow danced to Purple Rain.
We
went and saw Purple Rain together at the Coliseum drive-thru.
Big smile. I see it. The big smile back
Prince there. Prince was part of the soundtrack to my life. Besides just being a crazy artist, I'm a big Tony fan. Their catalog isn't as dope as I like it, but there's something about it never rains in California. If I had no loot, Hey Little Walter. I didn't know Raphael and those guys, but being from Oakland's a little bit of it. But just to give you a little.
That's a great list.
If the now Chris Rivers can tell the younger Chris Rivers something, what would it be?
Start saving money earlier and be committed to it.
I think all of us need to hear that.
Yeah, but I mean, we just talked about off camera, talking about losing houses, losing cars, all that. And we've been okay, but and I'm okay. But that's the one thing my kids are going to be great at it. I'm committed to them.
You taught me a lot along the way. You should have told me that, younger man.
Yeah. We're okay, but I'm not saying, that's why when people make fun of, I work in the NIL space right now.
Yeah.
I can't believe kids getting all this money and they're just tricking it off. I'm like, didn't we all to start? So that's what older Chris Rivers would have told younger, but no regrets.
Dead or alive, if you can have dinner with one person.
Obama.
No hesitation, and that's awesome. I love
Not saying I couldn't think of other people, of course you can go, but there's something about him. I'd say exactly what it is with Obama. He made me believe that being 50 was okay. Because I'm not sure how many years older than me, but I was in my 40s. I'm like, getting gray. 50's okay. True story. He got me through the 50. I mean, Morgan Freeman too, but Obama would be the dude I just want to break bread with.
It's crazy. I'm pretty sure Kim Squalia said Obama as well.
Yes, she did. She
Now
did.
we got 2 Obamas. It's awesome.
Because you only gave me one person, Chris.
Yeah,
You only
you
get
only
one.
get one.
Yeah.
You only get one for that. And just a party message, man. You're putting a bunch of great stuff out in front of people in the sports space for the parents and things like that. Leave our listeners with your parting bit of wisdom for them on the way out.
I will leave the listeners with, I'll leave a message to parents. Be aware of who your kids are hanging around and you're helping your kids grow and develop, because you may not like what they're pouring into your kids. So,
That is perfect. Chris, I love you, man. Thank you for being on here
love you as
today,
well.
man.
I'm going to learn to love you as I get to know you better, but I like you. I just don't throw love out there easily. I respect the word love, but there's definitely liking and respect what you two are doing. Anything I can do to help you guys grow this platform or other things, I think the fact that you guys are just putting your own time and bread into this, and you guys are doing it as brothers, and you're doing it from the love of your heart to just share it with people, I think it's fantastic.
Well, here's the thing. The stories like this need to get out. That's where this comes from, man. Can't wait for people to chime in here, for us to highlight some of the stuff that's you said and what's going on. And that's what this is about, man. So appreciate you to the fullest, man.
And can I shout and thank Nate?
Yes, please do.
Nate, thank you. Hey, every championship team has an unsung hero. Don't
Let's
forget
go.
Man,
not gonna hold the
he's the
trophy
one who
up
makes it
again.
happen,
I
baby.
know.
He's the one who makes it happen.
By the way, Rene and I are big wine guys.
Okay, I got there's a couple whiny people over there. I'm not a wine guy.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, we if there's a winery in the Portland area that we really want to go to that's ran and owned by Channing Frye. And so if we ever make it out there, hopefully we can make a visit and
You
break
guys
bread
come
with
through,
you.
and I know someone who would personally help you get there.
Yeah, I love that parting gift. That's the way to shoot it out.
Let's
Hey,
go.
we out. Appreciate y'all.